Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Ready to Love. This is season 2, episode 9. It is Monday, and I am sorry that I did not get the review up on Sunday, but my weekends for the past couple of weeks have just been running crazy. So if you do not see a review up by Sunday morning, that probably means I won't get to it until the following day because it's very hectic. I love my channel, I care about my channel, but other stuff just has to take priority over it because it's my life outside of YouTube. So it's just kind of how it goes. But I'm very sorry about that. And I am here now, a little congested, so please excuse that. But we're going to talk about Ready to Love. So I believe that we can all agree if we would have had some alcohol last night or some shots, every time they said the journey and we would have took that shot, we would have been a couple of drunk mofos on Saturday night. On top of that, the thing about the group trip that is, I won't even say enjoyable or likable, but the thing about the group trip that you can appreciate is the fact that once we all get together in the same house, in the same setting, there really can be a lot of lies going on because you can automatically go to the person directly, face to face, not by text, not by phone call, and you can address the situation. And so a lot of things are brought out when they go on this group trip. I'm starting to think they need to push the group trip up earlier or maybe take two, because then you could get a lot of that riffraff out the way. But they're on this group trip in the Blue Ridge Mountains, a very beautiful area. And so I want to start out talking about London and Alexis. So we know now that Brent has shown some interest in Alexis, and London is just kind of like, dang, we got Carrie out the house, and now I got to worry about her pushing up on Brent. Where did this come from? So he wants to talk to Alexis about it. He had the nerve to tell us in his confessionals that he is trying to get Alexis. I've been trying to get her to just focus on us during this process. You haven't just been focused on y'all, so why does she have to just focus on y'all? Like, London, you next. I got a feeling that you next. So he takes Alexis into a room so he can talk to her, and Alexis is really just tired of London and his jokes. He needs to be serious. I need to see where he is trying to be in regards to us. And I feel like every time I try to see that, he just has a lot of jokes. And he did the same thing this time. He kind of wants to know what's going on with her and Brent, but he's still being a little jokey about it. And Alexis's whole attitude is just Brent is stepping up in places that London is not. And so if he's interested, she's going to see what it's about. I think the ladies could really learn a whole lot from Alexis. And I'm almost venturing to say that I don't think Alexis is going to choose anybody at the end of this journey. Even if it ends up being her and one other person, I think she's just going to leave by herself. I think she's going to play the game to the very end. And I think Alexis needs to be the coach for next year. I think it needs to be her and Nephew Tommy. Her for the women, Nephew Tommy for the men. I know we don't care for Alexis like that, but she's doing what needs to be done, and she's doing it in a way where I'm not even sure if the men realize what she has going on. So kudos to you, girl. Let's move on. So Ashima, Darren, and Tandy. So this is the first group showdown of the weekend. So Tandy is just trying to get a feel for what Darren is, what he wants to see this weekend. And Darren just wants to see how everybody's going to react with one another, how things are going to go. Of course, him and Ashima do have a very strong connection. We got the strongest thing going on. But, I also feel like I had a connection with you. And Tandy is just like, so do you really need any more connections if you do have the strong connection with Ashima? And even though he states they do have a very strong connection, Ashima doesn't feel like Darren represents that well to the rest of the group. It feels like he just says that to her and maybe behind closed doors, but he doesn't say that to everybody else. Darren disagrees with that, and I disagree with that. I believe that Darren does make it known to the men, to Nephew Tommy, maybe not necessarily to all of the women because it's not like he's hanging out with them all the time, but I think he's made it known that him and Ashima have a strong connection. I mean, they always off in the corner having drinks with each other, holding hands. So I'm just like, I kind of feel like everybody knew that y'all had a strong connection. But Ashima is starting to feel like Darren is playing both sides of the fence. You're straddling the fence, and I'm asking you in front of Tandy, are you fence straddling with us? Darren doesn't believe he's fence straddling because he just told them directly, yes, I have the strongest connection with you. However, I also felt something when we went on our date with Tandy, and I feel like I'm being honest with you. I don't know what you're talking about. So Ashima's frustrated, Darren's frustrated. They kind of go off, and Ashima talks to Alexis about how she feels. Both of them are very direct people. They don't really do good with that fence straddling. They don't really do good with not knowing where they stand with people. Um, really, Ashima should have been playing the same game that Alexis was playing, but Alexis didn't. She put herself on. She didn't put nobody else on, and I'm not mad because it's a competition. You don't have to do that. But Alexis just tells her, and I think this is some good advice. You just have to think of it as, if it doesn't work out between the two of you, if he does want to date other people or what have you, that's his loss. He's missing out on a good thing when it comes to you. You can't think of it as you are losing something. You have to think he is losing something. And I think that's something that all women could benefit from. I actually thought that was great advice to give, not only for the competition, but just in life. Don't think of it as a loss on yourself. If you know you are a good person and you put yourself out there, don't regret putting yourself out there. Instead, just say, well, you know what? That's his loss. Somebody else is going to appreciate what I'm bringing to the table. And we find out that both of them have issues kind of being vulnerable about how they feel. And I just think that that might be something as women we have to work on. I understand protecting your heart and not putting yourself completely out there because you don't want to be made a fool of. But I also feel like when it comes to men, there is a certain level of vulnerability that they have to see in order to even be interested. It's just kind of how the genders and maybe the hormones and all of that stuff go. But I know that when you are extremely hard, it is very difficult for a man to remain interested in you. Or if you are the opposite and you act emotional over things that have nothing to do with what your real issue is, which is what I think that Ashima is doing, kind of, that can cause a man to run away as well. The only thing that I think Darren is guilty of in this whole situation, I do not believe he is lying to Ashima. I do not believe he is wrong for trying to date during the competition, although it is getting towards the end, so it's weird, but it's not wrong. What I do think Darren is wrong in doing is acting as if the dogs were not the catalyst for his switch up, because they were, and he's acting like none of that was a big deal, but it actually was a big deal. Like, that makes me think I'm crazy when somebody is just like, oh, that's not what it was. But that was when the switch happened, so that had to have been what it was. You're telling me that's not what it was? So I just think that's what he's guilty of, not keeping it 100% real, that he is not sure if him and Ashima are compatible because they don't value the same things when it comes to the animals. And I've just, y'all can let me know if I'm tripping, but I really think that's what it is. So Darren is outside talking to the guys, expressing his frustration about just having to prove himself to Ashima over and over again. He decided a long time ago that when he saw his mother being cheated on by his father and just kind of controlling the house and what that did to her, he would always keep it real with women. And I can respect that. Some people do the opposite. Some people take after their fathers completely and feel like that's what a man is supposed to do. So to hear Darren say he kind of looked at it from a perspective of, let me not lie to women, I love that. I really appreciate it. And overall, y'all, I like Darren. That's why it's like really hard for me to, just kind of talk bad about Darren. But I think Darren is guilty to me of one thing, and that's not approaching what his issue really was when it came to Ashima and why he really felt like it's not going to work between the two of them. But the guy talk was cool. London had the nerve to say he was tired of proving himself. I said, London, be quiet. Be quiet. This conversation is for the men, the grown ones, not you. So they continue to talk, and Mario says, well, do you think it's the fact that she has really just centered her feelings and her emotions around you and not anybody else? So it kind of hurts her feelings that you kind of are trying to put your emotions somewhere else. Derek go say, I'm not sure. I never thought about it like that. I said, really, Derek? You never thought about it? Okay. But him and Ashima do have another conversation where Ashima does reveal that she is scared of getting played. She don't want to be made the fool of. And Darren appreciated her saying that. Like, you could have just kept it real with me. Well, you could have just kept it real too, Darren. But they end up giving each other a hug. I think the two of them are going to be okay. But I still think the dog thing is going to continue to be an issue if it's not addressed appropriately. And so far, it really hasn't been. So that's it with the showdown with them. I actually took too long talking about that. So let's move on. I'm looking at my notes. Tandy, Riva, and Mario. Now, this is a good one. Okay. So Tandi and Reva are in the kitchen, and Tandi basically tells Reva, okay, it's Tandi, Reva, Divine, I got it right today, right? Divine, and Ashima in the kitchen. Well, Ashima comes up later. So while they're having a conversation, Tandi basically lets Reva know that if I were you, I would have been backed out of this competition, because obviously, if you see that we are friends and you don't want to fall out with your friend about no dude, and you see that the man may have a deeper connection with another woman, I would just back out gracefully. I wouldn't stick around if I felt like the connection was not with me. And Reva tells her, well, Tandi, it's not like we're close friends. I've never considered you a close friend of mine. I've always considered you an associate. And I said, child. Oh, man, let me tell you, I would have been outdone. Like, I wouldn't have had nothing else to say. I probably would have had to go in my room for a minute, collect the pieces of my face off the ground, because how you gonna sit there and tell me in front of other people that we're not even friends, we're associates? I would hate for somebody to tell me that if I thought they were genuinely my friend. And Tandi was just like, oh, so we're not friends? No, we've known each other for some years, and we talked on the phone maybe 2 times in all those years. I don't really consider you a friend. I consider you associate. Oh, but you called Divine a friend. Yes, I did call Divine a friend, because it's not about how long you've known somebody. It's about the connection that you've made with people. And you and I don't have that connection. Tandi feels like the connection is not there because now it's over a man. And so Reva is conveniently using that. And Reva feels like we were never friends. We were always associates. So I don't know why she in here trying to pull it. So they go back and forth about that for a while. And then Ashima comes in, and that Ashima was actually the catalyst for asking the question, are you feeling this type of way, Reva, because now it's over a man? Like, were y'all friends before this? And so I'm not really sure how the conversation breaks up, but everybody ends up going their separate ways. And the men come into the kitchen. And so Ashima just like, child, Mario, you better go talk to your women, because they just got into it around here about who was friends and who wasn't friends. And it really wasn't Ashima's place to be spilling the tea and be being, trying to tell the men what happened. But Mario did need to go address that situation because he is directly involved. So Mario goes to address, was it Reva or Tandi first? Tandi. And I think it was Tandi. Nope, it was Reva. He goes to address Reva first. And so Reva is making it seem as if Tandi was the one who contacted her and was basically asking questions in regards to Mario. And that's when Reva let Tandi know that she needed to be careful when it came to Mario, because she couldn't really figure out what he was trying to do. He's saying one thing to me, he's saying another thing to you. So I'm not really sure how you move when it comes to this situation in this journey. It seems like you have been acting like you're interested in me, but I don't really feel that way. I don't really feel like you are showing that, and other people don't really feel like you're showing that. Mario is trying to tell her, don't worry about everybody else, but it's not really that simple, Mario. You know that you don't have as much interest in Reva. I really feel like Reva should have went home a long time ago, and Mario should have been honest with her that he is not feeling her the same way. But we're here now, right? So when Mario goes to talk to Tandi says that she didn't call Reva. Reva called her with the warning. So I don't know who to believe. Who y'all believe? And Mario is trying to figure out, why were you guys discussing me? And Tandi said, look, I was never discussing you. She warned me about you and how you moved and the things that you were saying. I didn't ask her none of those questions. But if she want to put it all out there, we can put it all out there. And I do mean all out there. I was just like, girl, what's going on? Like, is it a sex tape? Was she a hoe? What happened? I want to know. I want to know what all out there means. But Tandi does not expound greatly upon that. She just said, if we're going to put it all out there, we're going to put it all out there. So I guess we're going to see next week. Maybe Tandi got some more information that we need to know. But homegirl said we was never friends. So you know what? It's F her. It's F her from here on out. She didn't say that, but that's kind of how her attitude was rolling. All right. What y'all thought about that though? Like, I don't know. Like, would you be on a dating competition even with an associate? Like, would you back out? See, I think that Tandi wants Reva to do what old girl did in regards to Shay and Mike last season when she was just like, I'm out the paint. I can tell y'all got something going on. I would do that just because I wouldn't want to waste my time, but I wouldn't do it until after the vacation because what I look like leaving the Blue Ridge Mountains. Are you crazy? I would have been right there, and then after the trip was over, been like, well, I see y'all got something going on, so I'm going to go. But I'm going to enjoy my vacation and the free wine and whatever else they got in there. Okay, let's move on. So Alexis doesn't know how to play spades. And okay, that's fine because I don't really know how to play either. Like, I know the basics. Don't y'all get mad at me now, black people. I know the basics, but you don't want me to be your partner because I be bidding 5. I don't really know exactly what bidding 5 mean. I'll be like, I got 5. I'm just not a good card player in general, y'all. I'm sorry. The most cards I play is solitaire and speed, and I will get down on a little bit of I declare war. Okay, don't play with me. So Britt is trying to teach her how to play spades, also trying to gauge her feelings between the two of them. And it seems like Alexis is reciprocating what Brent is giving off. Brent is showing her a lot of the attention that she would like to get from London. And so Brent goes to tell Divine, listen, I like you. I was feeling you. We kissed and all that. But I think I'm going to put my all of my sentiments in with Alexis. I'm going to focus my attention there. And Divine doesn't take it hard. She takes it well and says that throughout this journey, okay, Brent has been the most honest. Brent hasn't tried to hurt anybody. Brent has been the most thorough. And I mean, if I gotta choose, I don't know if he'd be in my top as far as being the most. I mean, I guess he has been honest, but Brent has also not really brought a lot to the table. You never really knew what Brent was about. So I guess I could say that Brent was in the safe zone. I could say that. So it's cool that you want to focus your time and attention on Alexis. It is what it is. Oh, well, okay. That's kind of his Divine's attitude. But she appreciates him for telling her. And I appreciated that too. Brent got a lot of points for me with that. I can appreciate somebody that's just going to say, I don't want to waste your time. I am interested in this other person. And that's just kind of what it is. And so, yeah, Brent is going all in with Alexis. And I just hope, Brent, that Alexis might not be going all in with you. So then there's a lot going on over at this fire pit bonfire situation. Let me see where I want to start. Okay. Reva goes out there to talk to Mario, where Reva is basically telling Mario, look, I could go home. Okay, I'm not really here for this. If you don't know what you want to do, if you are undecided, I can go. And Mario, oh, Reva, you so hard. Like, no, Mario, for real, address the question. If you are wasting this girl's time, be like Brent. Okay, I want to focus my attention here. Don't try to hold on to the both of them. If you know you are not interested, let Reva go. Well, let Reva enjoy her vacation. And then let Reva go if that's what it is. But I think Reva is starting to understand. Divine comes out there and she also says to Mario, it's time up for people not being able to make up their minds. We are at the end of the what, y'all? Say it with me. The journey is almost over. And I agree with Divine. I mean, it's episode 9 at this point. And once you get to the group trip, that's when you really need to start making some decisions. So what is it that y'all are talking about? You still trying to figure out in this journey. You don't want to put one woman up over the other. That's all that stuff that London was talking. And I'm just like, no, it's around that time where you need to start making some decisions. And so when it comes to Divine and London and Alexis is just kind of letting London know, you're not really stepping up like that. You're not really paying any attention to me. I'm disappointed with where we are right now. And Alexis is just so good at letting a man know what it is without even laying the guilt trip. She just kind of looking at him like, I mean, you're not doing what you need to do. You're not giving it to me. I'm finding it elsewhere, just very direct, very simple. And London is kind of trying to figure out where he stands with her. When they go out to the fire pit and Reva brings up the fact that, well, you've said that you are the most interested in her or you have the strongest connection with Divine. And so Alexis is like, what? Y'all got the strongest connection. Now you just told me something else in the house. So this is what I'm talking about. You are really, now London is the definition of straddling the fence. Okay, he really is playing both sides. So now he all tongue tied. I've been trying not to put, one woman over the other. I don't want any woman to think she's in second place. Well, that's just kind of what it is. Both people can't be first. Okay, second place is the first loser, like everybody says. Like there's both women can't be in the same position, but our connections are different. That's another word they keep using, the connections, the journey. Just keep it real. You like, obviously, one of them more than you like the other, but I think you see more potential in Alexis than you do Divine, but you actually like Divine's vibe a little bit more. But London probably wants kids and all of that, so Divine ain't having no kids. But yeah, London is not keeping it real. If I was Divine and Reva, I would go home. Because like Divine said, I'm about to choose for you in just a minute. And I don't blame you, girl. But enjoy your vacation first. And then choose it. And go on home. I'm trying to see what I forgot. Oh, did you notice that London kept saying that Alexis was exciting and Alexis does all these things? That is just a good example of Alexis really understanding two things. Number one, never put your eggs all in one basket. And number two, Alexis understands the chase. Once a man feels like he has you and he really, really has you, he almost feels like he can get away with anything. Not all men, but some men are just like that. I mean, even Darren exhibited a little bit of it. He knew Ashima wasn't going anywhere. He knew that he could talk to other people and Ashima was not going to have that opportunity to do so. Even though there were men there, he knew how Ashima felt about him and had already put all of hers in. And so, yeah, that was a good life lesson to learn, that you never fully have them until you fully have them. And I'm going to see what's going to happen next week with Brent. In all honesty, you guys, I think him and London, they might have a little bit of a scuffle, because did you see when he went outside to talk to Alexis, Brent was like, well, I'm not done talking to her. And Brent said he could go from 0 to 100 real quick. And I would love to see the 100, because so far we've only seen about 15 to 20% out of you, Brent. So I would love to see the 100. We're going to see what happens next week. Some of y'all seem to think that Alexis is only interested in Brent because Divine was interested in Brent. And I could see, yes, I could see that. I could see that all the way. But we are going to see what happens next week. I hope I wasn't too all over the place. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.